What is going on, everybody? Happy ThoughtLoad Thursday and happy Thanksgiving to you all. Today's quick ThoughtLoad is going to be centered just around that concept of gratitude, right? We've talked about it a lot here on the podcast, ways we can implement it, benefits of expressing gratitude and being thankful for what you have in your life, as well as many other things centered around that. So check out our other episodes on that. I believe Gratitude Over Guilt was a great episode we did a year or two ago, and as well as a few things on gratitude we talked about in some of our guest recordings as well. So a quick couple thoughts here for you today. And one thing I feel like is really common around this holiday time, especially Thanksgiving, is sometimes we dread the family time. We dread the conversations, and it's like, oh, Uncle Steve always just talks about politics and this and that, and it's just terrible, or it's abortion this or economy that or whatever, right? And I think some of us definitely have that experience. And a cool thing I did see was a post on Instagram that was about a guy brainstorming with his mom a list of questions to ask at the Thanksgiving dinner table that weren't related to politics or religion or whatever, those hot topics, right? And it was a cool list, and I'm not going to just read it and share it with you, but challenge you just to think of some things that you can say or talk about, to bring up in place of, that dreaded conversation, or for some of you, it's that are single still. Not that that's a bad thing at all. Everyone has their own timeline, but sometimes our family is like, oh, any boyfriends, any girlfriends, blah, blah, blah. Oh, why are you still single? And it's just like a bullseye is on your forehead, right? At the dinner table. And the point being is, yeah, we're going to have those conversations. If we come up with questions or we come up with things that we can talk about other than that, or to shift the focus away from that, that's a good thing. But also if we just focus on the fact that we are sitting down with our family and we're having dinner, it might be the 1 or 2 times a year you get to see a lot of these people. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for you, I think it's important just to focus on being present, right? Today's quote to wrap up with has a little focus on being present. We've talked about it a little bit too, just being in the moment, experiencing it, because you never know how many more that you're going to get, right? That dreaded conversation with Uncle Steve or Uncle fill in the blank here. It could be your last one this year. Hopefully it's not, but I'd hate to live with trying to avoid those certain things within my own family to not be able to have that again next year. And not to be morbid or anything, but some of those things are important to think about. How many times have we gone through a holiday season, through the motions, being just not thinking about where everybody else is in their life, and if they're getting up in age or health is declining, and we have a finite number of those, right? So I think it's important to focus on being present, not dreading that family time. And in correlation to that, something that I'm excited about for this holiday season is for those of you, including myself, here that are focusing on making some changes, some health changes. Like for me, I'm not drinking anymore, alcohol, and family can be the number one trigger for things. If you're trying to eat better, if you're trying to consume 0 or less booze, this holiday season and times with family can be challenging, especially if that's what your family does, like mine. And it all depends on how you look at it, right? Your perception of it. We've talked about that a lot in our first series here on the podcast. And a lot of times you might just cave and give in and be like, oh, whatever. It's holidays. It doesn't matter anymore. But it does matter. it matters to you. Otherwise, like these changes that you're going to make or you're trying to make are just going to cease to exist every single holiday season. So you got to start somewhere. Might as well be this holiday season, this Thanksgiving, this Christmas, right? And being excited that, hey, it might be difficult. Might be difficult not to have 10 servings of dessert, or it might be difficult not to partake in the alcohol consumption that might be running through your family. But the important thing is you can check that box now and be like, hey, you know what? I made it through Thanksgiving 2022 without drinking or with eating better or continuing my exercise routine or continuing to read at night, even though it's the holidays or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Make these holidays be that box you can check. Be like, you know what? I was still able to focus. I still got these things done. And you're exerting that discipline, right? And you're continuing to move forward in those goals, making progress throughout the holiday season. Otherwise, it's like I said before, it's just going to be a yearly excuse of, oh, it's the holidays. I'm not going to do anything that I've been doing the last however many weeks, months, whatever. And then you're just going to feel shitty about it and try to regroup, and it might not even be, you might push it till New Year's. So you might have 2 months of just not continuing on with your progress. And so to wrap up, again, focus on being present, expressing that gratitude that we've talked about before. It's just going to manifest more in your life. Be present with your family. Enjoy this Thanksgiving as well as this little holiday break if you have one. And to wrap up here, a quote from Shetty said, there are so many things in the world that could be invisible to the material eye. And when you stop and take a moment to pause, to be present and notice them, that's gratitude. Thanks again, everybody. Hope you have an awesome rest of the week and holiday. And as always, begin the duel, win the day.